Good morning and welcome to the start of Flory Fest 2025. Here we are with you, 10 o'clock in the UK. A bit cloudy this morning and all the rest of it. And I'm joined by my special assistant's dog.
Hang on,
the trouble is, because I wear an earpiece, isn't it? I don't. It's that thing. They don't hear anything, and then I speak, and they're like, "What?" That's what that is. So yes. Anyway, good morning. Here we are again. I was working out. This is our 5th year of doing this.
Is it?
You remember we started it because of COVID, and we couldn't go out.
Yeah.
So we started it in 2020, and with COVID coming down the line and all the rest of it, and we've been here every year since. I know the date shifts a bit, because it gets a little bit tight in our end of October, and obviously Telfer coming up, so we've moved it a little bit forward this year. But anyway, lovely to have you all here. We are live and across all the airwaves. We're obviously on YouTube as well, so careful what you say, people. Just saying. Obviously, we're on chat as well. I can't see our Flory Models chat, unfortunately. I've got a technical hitch here, but the guys have got it. So if you've got anything to say, shout out and all the rest of it, you can hear it all on there. So anyway, we're going to be with you for the next 2 days. So plan of action here till midday, and then in the afternoon till 4. Tonight, we're with you at 7:30 till 9, where Nathan's done a quiz. Did you see his message he put up?
Yes.
Yes.
So you know it's going to be really, really hard. Yeah, that's it. So Nathan's done us a quiz. So tonight's one is just going to be a little bit of fun. We're in chat and jokes and all the rest of it and things like that, really, with that one. And then tomorrow we're back with you again, same times again. So 10 in the morning till midday, and then 2 till 4 as well. And then after that, we'll all be comatose and in bed. So knackered. So yes. But anyway, over the next 2 days, we've got lots of bits and pieces to come up with you. I've got a history lesson for you, which the guys were just commenting before, because I found some old pictures and stuff. So it's a history lesson of the reason we're here for 20 years anniversary this year of the Flory Models wash, since its conception when I first came up with the idea back in 2003. So I found some old photos to share with you. We're going to talk you through that one. I've got some demos, tips, tricks, and all the rest of it for you as well. Most of them are live, a couple of them are videos. The video ones will probably be more tomorrow, to be honest. We'll do the live ones with you today. So we'll be talking about filling and sanding, various bits and pieces like that. Some of the equipment that we use, some of the tools, things like that. Also some tips and tricks. So one that came up the other day, which actually I thought was a valid one, about what to do when you put a fingerprint using extra thin on your model, and you basically destroy everything with it. So I'll show you about doing that one. I did do it before on this guy, but then you can't really see it when I came to edit the film. It was like, not the best way. Perhaps we'll try something else. So we'll do that one as well. So we've got lots of that coming on. The team is with us. Matthew's got a very nice haircut. We were discussing just as we were coming on air.
It's my winter haircut for
I was going to say, shouldn't you grow it longer for the winter to keep your bonnet a bit warmer?
No.
Are you going to wear a beanie or winter?
Yeah, basically that is it. Yeah, I'll just put a hat on.
That's it.
So,
that's it.
Yeah.
John will be growing his.
Yeah, no chance of that.
Three strands.
There's 3 if we're folding them over and all the rest of it.
Absolutely no chance.
Yes. Never mind. It'll be fine, John. Again, you need a hat. We need to do a Flory Models beanie hat.
You do.
Something we have to think about that.
I've said that for ages, that we should do something like that.
Yeah, but it's only you that needs it, so.
I need one now. Look, walking the dog.
I'm going the other way. My hair's getting thicker and more going for it. It doesn't seem to want to stop.
Believe you me, you'll need one for your walk from the unit back to the house.
Yes, he
in the
will.
winter.
I'm going to do a Colin Furs. I'm going to dig a tunnel, I'm thinking, from here, and it's going to appear in the new bit, in the extension. We should have done this. If we had thought about this when we had the diggers all in, all the rest of it, we would have very quickly, just put a tunnel in. Seeing as we had to go 2 meters down anyway for the foundations, it wouldn't have made a lot of difference. So, yeah. And anybody looking at our garden would think I'm doing it anyway with the amount of soil that we've now got piled up down there. I'm sure they think I'm doing a Colin Furs with this one. I'm putting it all down.
My head's sort of half and half, I think.
Well, yours is definitely going, Andy. You just keep combing it. It's fine.
Mine was the drugs I was on over the past couple of years. It's all that.
Is that what you're going with? What was the excuse before?
Yeah, I was on some nasty drugs, and it made me hair so like thin really out. But
Hmm.
It's supposed to come back again, but it hasn't.
You need the old regain. Isn't it? Regain that
Yeah.
stuff. So
Nothing
I'd
wrong with
rather-
hair loss. You just need to man up and embrace it.
I've got no
That's
problem
it.
with hair loss at all.
where did you
Going
lose
grey,
yours, John?
going bald don't bother me.
Were you thinning out at school that early, or did you wait a bit until you met Lynn?
Oh,
Since my early 20s, I've always shaved my hair. I've had it really short.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I don't know any
Nice.
different, really.
Well, it's fine. It's all good. It's all good. Right. Anyway, hello to everybody who's in, obviously, the live chat rooms that are joining us this morning. Love to have you in here so very early. Yes, I am got the coffee on the go. Literally, I've been up since 5:30. And so the coffee is definitely flowing this morning and everything. So we all had a nice breakfast, hearty breakfast. Matt's almost burnt the house down doing his. Amber, stop it.
yes,
Lie
I
down.
did.
Yes.
I did, yes. My bacon sandwich was thingied because I left the grill on and the
Proper
pan in.
crispy.
No, but I was eating my bacon, to be honest. I didn't turn it off, did I, when I'd finished? I got distracted and left it on. I'm like, why is it getting a bit smoky in here? And then, oh, yes.
Beep,
So
beep, beep,
doors
beep,
open,
beep.
yeah, extractor on, everything. So yeah, I'm glad the
Yes.
wife's not here because she would probably be moaning at me for it because it stinks.
Yes. Always the way. Anyway, there's a very good reason we do these shows as well. It's because we bring you some special deals across the board as well. So just to give you a quick run round as well, basically over on the Flory Models site, so florymodels.org, pop along to the store page. So when you're up there in here, just pop along over to here to the store page. Basically what I've done is I've done a flat rate of 20% off. Yeah, 20%, 20th anniversary, 20%. Do you like that? It's going to get expensive in another 10 years. But anyway, so we got 20% off the entire Flory Models range and some in some cases. All right. So anything that's down here, your washes, your 3D printed stuff, all the stuff that we do as well. Mystery boxes, read the thing about that. You understand about that one as well. But you say, yeah, 20% off on the jigs, 20% off on the actual flight stands, and obviously our special stuff. This one down in here is our special collector's edition, which I've brought back just for the show, just for this weekend as well. So if you missed out on the first run of them, they are back. All right, so down in here you get the limited edition stand. So obviously this is a good one because it holds anything, not just our washes. You can put paint in it and all the rest of it. All right, we've got the metal tray, which is enamel with our logo onto it. You get the giant sticker and the card as well. All right, so you get all of those down in there for just £22 plus that where applicable. So yes, we've got all of those. All right, plus the fact all the other stuff that we do, as you know, with the washes, they're on sale as well. And then obviously we've got the thick washes, and then we've got the other bits, the mugs, the merch, the t-shirts, 3D printed bits and pieces as well down in here. Then there's 10% off all the display stuff. All right, so I've done 10% off all the display stuff as well. So if you want to grab yourself a little bit of a bargain over the course of the weekend, you can do. So we've got all your sanders, all your stuff that I stock down in there as well. So if you want to get any of those ones, just pop on over to the florymodels.org/store and you can grab yourself some bargains. This is going to run till Monday. All right. So you've got a bit of time before, after the shows. All right. So you can get those ones down as well. And now I've lost my little link to Matt. Where's that Matt gone? I've lost Matt's link. PM Models. I'll go old school. We're going this way. So there you go. Go to the store. PM Models has got 10% discount on all orders over £60 this weekend.
Why is that not in the middle?
I don't know. I've given up asking
That's well off.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got to sort that out. That's going to be really annoying.
Since
Sorry about
our
that.
IT changed to
Properly
Matt doing
annoying.
it, we never had this trouble when Andy did it.
Yeah, that's very true, to be fair. That is very true. Oh my God, that's all over the shop, isn't it?
Actually, I'm looking at the proper page,
Yeah.
and it's showing
In the middle.
on your page, not the site page, if you know what I mean. I can still log into that, and it's in the middle. Yeah.
Oh,
All
is it
right.
in the middle of
Anyway.
the store page?
Well, look,
Anywho.
don't worry about it. Anyhow, we've got great deals and offers over on the PM store as well. We've got some fabulous prices on the kits, as you can see. So we've got lots of special offers down in here as well. So if you want to grab any of these ones, they are down in here. All right. Also, we've got some things that have come back. Oh, let me take you over to special offers. There's extra special offers area. So we've got some other bits and pieces down in here for your kits.
That's like the clearance area.
Oh, is that the clearance area? Right.
That's
fair
like the
enough.
clearance, but I got that
Okay.
because it's special offers. And then
That's
I've
it.
resurrected some of the old brands, so some of the main ones are back.
That's it.
So we've got obviously Airfix are back up and
Mm-hmm.
discounted. As you can see, so we're quite fully stocked with Airfix. We've got Armour in.
Oh, sorry, press the button on my mouse. That's it.
So I've got some of the Armour kits in. There we go.
Nice. And we've got Edward.
Edward is back.
Edward.
Oh, look, the JUH8's are back. Look.
Look. Yes, back in stock.
Back in stock. So yeah, got some of the Edward stuff.
Nice load of Edward in there, look. So that's good. Yeah. And also we've got Hobby 2000.
Yep. I think it's very good value for money for what you get, to be fair.
It is very, very nice value for money.
Let me some good stuff in there. And we've also got Tamiya Aircraft and Tamiya Armour back.
Yes.
So
that's it. So
some proper classics in the Tamiya Aircraft range.
That's it. Some of the best ones, apart from a Mustang.
Yeah, which unfortunately there's no stock of us, because that was the one I wanted in.
Yeah.
But there's some of the others in there, some proper classics and some of the newer stuff as well. So there you go.
Yeah. Very nice. Very, very, very nice.
And then we've got a Tamiya paint restock and glue and all the other bits and bobs. We've had a Mr. Hobby one, so we've got thinners in, primers, stuff from them. Unfortunately, I couldn't get an attacker because they didn't have the stock and I wanted an attacker restock, but there's loads of other stuff in anyway, so there we go. And like, as at the top, we have discount on 60% orders is extra 10%, so that does include the kits that are already discounted. So, you know, you spend over 60 quid. Also, if you spend over 40 quid, you get a free PM. You need a mass set mug, and that obviously counts as well for orders over 60 quid. So them who've put an order in will get a free mug as well. So, and that's why the stocks last on the mugs. So,
you know, you said 10% on all orders over £60. That include tools and paints and things.
Everything.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, everything.
The lot.
Orders over 60 quid, the lot will get an extra 10%. So there you go.
Right.
Very nice. Also, if you are in America, just have to say that Brett over at High Altitude Hobbies is joining in with this one as well, and he's got 10% off all Flory products as well with him. We have got problems getting stuff over to him, but he has got jigs and various stuff, and he has got some washes. But if you put the order in with him, he will honour it when the wash does turn up, hopefully next week. All right, but I know he's out of stock at wash at the moment because we've had some issues trying to get stuff to America still because of tariffs, and I'm not going to go through it, but I spend my life trying to sort that out. It seems at the moment, that and builders. So yes. Anyway, never mind. We won't keep going on about it. Anyway, to kick off with, obviously, it has been 20 years since Flory Models technically wash began. As I say, I'd had Flory Models going, then I became Pro Modeler, and then obviously we came through. So I have got this coming out as a proper video, but I'm editing it and it's not ready yet. I've been so busy with other bits and pieces as well and sorting all of this out that I don't have time to finish the edit. But there will be a polished video about this that comes out soon. But I thought what I could do is talk you through some of the things and the reasons why I actually started Flory Models washes, and we're going through, and obviously some of the highlights during its journey, a bit like when we got sued to change our name. And things like that, and the reasons for it. All right, so sit back and I will tell you live, which I have got some notes prepared that I've taken off my video that I'm making on this, all about it. Anyway, it all started back in 2003, and this is my workbench. This was literally it that I used to do all my commissions on. Hence, as you see my stash, look at that. That's a worthy stash. Can you see? Look, there's a was that a wyvern in there? I think. And yeah, there's a gannet, and that's about it. But as you can clearly see, there is an F-18C there because I was doing a lot of them at the time. But yes, so that is literally was my bench. Haven't we come a long way in the last 20 years? But that was how I was 20 years ago doing this. Obviously, Flory Models had started then, just doing some of the videos and that, as you'll see in a moment. But it was, yeah, very, very much in its infancy and all the rest of it. So yes, definitely, I should have had a harp effect for all of this. So anyway, that's how it began. All right. For people talking about health and safety, that was my spray booth. That was literally it. And as you can see, some of my paint ranges kept in boxes and that. So yeah, and there isn't even a respirator there, but I have got rubber gloves, so we're okay.
Oh, well, big.
But I did have a window here next to me on my left, which I did used to open when it wasn't windy or raining, which there's not a lot from there. But anyway, so that was it. I've now upgraded that box. It's now my photo box, same type of design. So yes, so that was it. So for people saying about, you know, producing models, you need to have a studio and this, that, and the other. I used to produce literally hundreds of models from their commissions going out and all the rest of it. But luckily, nobody used to see the conditions I worked in, so they didn't mind. So anyway, that was how it was. One of the biggest problems I had was doing commission works and things like that. You would come to give it a wash, and I used to use enamel washes back in the day, and I would have trouble with it staining and sticking, getting under decals, becoming a right problem and all the rest of it. So that's when I came along and started to play with different washes. So the washes themselves back in the day, this would have started in around about 2003. I started to play with ideas of having a wash in a bottle that I could just use and go. And to be honest with you, for a good 6 to 9 months, it didn't work very well because I tried everything from dirt out the garden to coffee granules to, yeah, loads of different stuff. Greases and oils, poster paints and things like that. But I always had problems with all of them until I came across a certain clay product, which works absolutely fantastic and worked to went. These are 50ml glass bottles, and this is how it was, because I used to be, for people who remember, I used to be on Brit Modeler years ago. Love to them, because obviously without them I probably wouldn't be here. But with that, and people used to ask me about it and say, oh, how do you do your washes? And I used to say, oh, I just do this stuff and I chuck it on it and that's it. And they said, oh, can I buy it? So I used to make it up in these 50ml bottles, which weigh an absolute ton because they're glass. And I used to put them into like poster tubes and send them out that way. We just did 3 colours back in the day, and these were the original colours, which actually this is still the dark dirt. The grey's a little bit different, and obviously the brown is a bit different now, but that is the first iteration of the Flory Models wash down in there. All right, then this is what they actually looked like back in the day. This was a test piece from the original washes that I did. So as I say, back in the day, there was obviously this sort of sepia colour, the grey and the sort of brown colour. Anybody know what kit this is?
F14.
It is. Manufacturer kit, reckon? Is anyone that good?
Hasegawa,
anyone in chat? No, it's not Hasegawa.
Tamiya.
Nope.
No.
Anybody in the chat? I can't see our chat, so if anyone's saying in there, shout it out, because I can't see it. I can only see the YouTube chat. It is, you're right, it's the Italeri kit. Yeah.
Is it?
It is the old Italeri kit. This was like my first Buster for all of this, which obviously we've gone a long way since Busters. You'll see Buster in a moment. All right. So this is it, because it obviously had recessed panel lines. They were quite big. They worked quite well for this, but obviously it was just done for testing to see how it worked with colours. All right. After a bit of refining and all the rest of it, we got it to work quite well. The red one used to leave a slight hue of it. You might notice we had a hue, so it didn't work very well. That's why that particular brown got ditched, because obviously in those days I called it dark brown, but we now call it dark dirt. And the grey, they worked fantastically, but obviously this was the thing I was up against. Some of the pigments used to stain, so it took me a long time to work out the pigments and all the rest of it, until you can see we got it down in here. We started to get it nailed down. All right, so these are just some of the test pieces which I was doing to see how they were going, all the rest of it. Then eventually I thought, well, look, what we need to do now is obviously do this properly. Still a 50ml bottle, but obviously we'll put a label on it. And this was the first ever Flory Models wash that actually went commercially on sale, and we put it on eBay at this point. And we were just flogging off of eBay and all the rest of it. So literally we just did it like that, and that was the picture. And I did quite a large range of it in the day, and this was the first ever ones, the Flory Models weathering wash, as it was back in the day, and that's how you would have bought it. So
what colours you got?
So back then it was like black, dark grey, light grey. We had dark brown, light brown. We had a muddy colour. We had the sand, the white, the rust. And this was an off-white, which actually has made a bit of a return back now because technically it'd be known as dust. In those days, I called it bone. But again, it's because it is that type of colour. And those were the original colours that we did and had up for sale. And that would have been circa around about 2000 and sort of 5 when it went onto sale properly on YouTube and all the rest of it. At that point, I was approached by a European company who wanted to stock the wash and all the rest of it, but advised me we needed to change the name to something a little bit more. You know, I couldn't use those logos and all the rest of it because obviously I didn't have one. And they actually made me this, which was the Pro Modeler logo, and we changed the name to Pro Modeler. So a big thank you to them. They are a huge European company, I will say. I won't name them for various reasons you'll hear about in a moment. But anyway, that's what we ended up doing and all the rest of it. So we had there, Pro Modeler was born. I changed the company name and we became Pro Modeler and we started to make our way along, all right? And that was all in 2005. We started to get seen. It went out to America and various things as well. And there we go. That's the first proper labels now with the first sort of Pro Modeler with a couple of the colours. And then obviously with a few more of them down in there. All right. And we were very posh now because we had a logo, which I'd never had before, and making our way through. And again, this was around about sort of 2006 now and into 2007. At that point, things really took off for the wash. We were selling lots of it. And again, to prove that we were, in those days, we used to call ourselves a cottage industry, making it off the kitchen table. That proves it because that is my kitchen table and that's the amount we used to do and put it in. We used to do them in quite large batches. In those days, we used to make them up in 205 litre big blue barrels and stir it literally with an oar to make it go round. But we could only take out the middle section. So the top part would be water. The bottom part would be grit, snails, weeds, tree roots. So we could only take the clay out the middle section. So it's very, very wasteful, very messy. But again, we used to make them up in big batches like that. That's actually an order that went out, I think it was to Role Models back in the day when they were still going in the US. That was their order out to them. That was the first order that went out that way. But we used to keep it in these things, which are mushroom factory trays. We used to have them everywhere full of it. All right, so we did all of those. Then we were getting quite good with the old, publisher. Christ knows what version of that was, Microsoft Publisher back in the way. And this was the first ever proper advert we did. And obviously you would have seen it probably back in the day. We did a short, it was a 4-minute video about how to use the wash. Literally slap it on, dry it, rub it off. And that's it. And that's our first little one we did there. Then we had a few bit of problems because Pro Modelers got contacted by a certain Revell USA saying that we're infringing under their logo. So we changed it a bit. So we said, okay, the paintbrush, because you might remember the Pro Modelers model kit range had a paintbrush in it as well. So we were like, sorry about that. We didn't mean to do anything. No foul, no harm, and all the rest of it. We'll change it. So we did. So we put in an airbrush instead. All right. So the airbrush actually came in there. That was around about 2009, 2010. So we switched over from the brush to the airbrush just to keep any intellectual property rights at bay. All right. So then obviously that's just one of the old ones. The winter camo came in about that time as well, which was never a big seller, which is amazing now because now we call it thick wash and it sells a lot. So but we've got the one there. John's got some of that still, haven't you? I think you were saying the other day.
Yeah,
John?
I've still got a bottle of that.
Yeah, see, good stuff. All right. So anyway, things are going quite well. We were pushing along very nicely. At this point, these were not Flory model sanders. These were generic sanders that I used to buy from a UK company. And we did it like that. All right. And then these two blue ones over here, I got from a company in Hong Kong. All right. So we had those ones. And that's literally was the Flory models range. That's all we ever did back in the day. Then the DVDs came along. And there's our very own Buster when he was a real plane in there. So the DVDs, the reason for the DVDs was that obviously because YouTube back in the day, you could only put a maximum of 15-minute videos up. I think they increased it. Started at 5, then they went to 15. Now they're going back to 5 by the looks of it. But anyway, they've got them up there now and all the rest of it. So the DVDs were born. And as I say, we had a huge, huge range of DVDs. The sanders are starting to pick up and doing quite well from all of those ones as well. And the paint, the range of the washes expanded. We brought in concrete as well, and a few other colours were starting to, and we sort of standardised the colours as well, because the clay was working quite well. We'd started to refine that a bit better. We were using a higher quality clay, so we weren't getting as much waste as well, and we sort of really sort of locked down the colours, because again, it was always a little bit iffy about how it would turn out. Started to do the shows as well. So we were going around, and to be honest, things were really, really starting to take off. We brought out some pigments at the time as well, and I can't remember what show that was. If anybody recognises that, you know, school hall, let us know. But again, it was going very well. We had all the DVD range out there. The membership was growing, and obviously with the washes, the pigments, and we did 3 types of sanders back in the day as well. And that was it. And life was really, really good. It was going very well. We launched onto the actual phones as well. That's my BlackBerry Pearl from back in the day. Who remembers having that thing, which was useless? All right. The only thing that was good with that is if you bought it, they would give it everything. It was like crackerjack. They gave you speakers for it, Bluetooth set, absolute tons of it. Still wasn't a very good phone though. But anyway, we launched our first sort of phone app, if you like, for it going, so you could actually view the website and all the bits and pieces on the phone. So this was around about 2010. All right, and then everything was going fantastic. So we had the full range of DVDs out and all the other bits. We were moving into merch then, and it was all going very, very well. Then something happened. It was Christmas Eve, 2011. We got a cease and desist order from Revell. So as Jim points out, because he knows this anyway, it's a brand name. Now, the difference being is I had copyrighted Flory models in Europe. And we had the copyright and the intellectual property rights to use it in Europe, but not in America. And at this point, the actual whole point of this was trying to expand the business, and all the rest of it would become pretty much global. And we were at loggerheads with Revell because they didn't have the intellectual property rights in Europe, and I did. And obviously they had it in America. And at the time, being Christmas Eve, I couldn't get hold of a solicitor, and I was on a 2-week cease and desist order. So it was fine because we could cease and desist in America, but then I'd have to refund all the stock that's in America. And at that point, 90% of everything we do was going to America anyway. So it was a little bit of a squeaky bum problem. I made a couple of comments on the YouTube, and it went absolutely mad, because I had people saying about huge corporate picking on the small guy. Revell literally was affected by it, and I know they were because I was speaking to some very high up people. And then luckily the CEO of the group, because obviously Revell was Monogram was owned by another company, contacted me, and we had a fantastic phone call, which put all this to bed and all the rest of it, and we sorted. I agreed to change the name. And obviously they had then could use the Revell Monogram, could use the Pro Modeler in Europe, and we went away all very happy at the end of the day. So yes, so that was all good. At that point, I was doing skinny sticks, as you can see here, as well, after I worked with another company in Europe who then completely stuffed me. And literally I designed the skinny sticks, and then they went off and got the company I was using to manufacture them to do them, and I got cut out of it. Because of that, I went to another company and they made the skinny sticks for us, and the skinny sticks were launched. So they came around in around about 2011 as well. So that's when those were launched and came through. And then the skinny sticks range was born and went alongside our old range. Then we had the full set of washes and the pigments. So things were sort of picking up again under the Flory Models brand, and we were starting to go. In 2012, we moved into the old studio, as you probably remember it in there. All right, so that's where we went from that horrible thing that you saw before into there. So it was a bit like night and day. It was fantastic to be in such a big studio and all the rest of it. Then in, where are we, 2013, the grime wash was launched. First time we'd added a colour in all that time as well. So yeah, that came along as well. So that's where grime was. And that was mainly designed because I was getting asked a lot by the locomotive people to do rolling stock and weathering for that. So they wanted a grimy sort of, you know, sort of traffic film type colour and all the rest of it. So that's where the grime was born from. All right. And then we have to thank Alan, who's no longer with us. Bless him. He passed away some time ago now. But then Alan redesigned us our logo when I reached out to him in, that was 2014 for the Flory Girl was launched. So yes, that went along. And then there is Alan, bless him, back in the day when we were all a lot younger. And there's Lynn, bless, that's Mel, my ex-partner. So yes, there it is. That was the first year that came out. And then the only ones that's been added to that since is have been discontinued, I know. But then the pigments came along in 2015 as well. So yes, and that was it. And that is the back history and story to Flory Models. Ta-da!
What a journey.
What a journey. And all of that was done in 10 years. So that was the thing to it. It was amazing, really, that first 10 years that went from being nothing to everything as a whole and all the rest of it. And again, we had our ups and downs during all that trip through there and all the rest of it. But yeah, we came along at the end of it, I thinking bigger and brighter and better, you know. But yes, that's it. And that's the story, the history of Flory Models.
Cool.
That's it. That's it. So that answers a lot of questions. As I said, I am putting together a full video about it that explains it in detail and also what I'm doing with it. And the reason it's taking a bit longer, all my builds I've got that go up the screen as a timeline. So bearing in mind there's hundreds. So literally, if you think there's one a month to this, and to give a timeline and a backstory, it's got all of my builds as photos go up. You know, as it's like basically as a rolling timeline to it all, and it explains as it goes through and all the rest of it. And then that gets continued. There's a part 2 to that, and then takes you up to present day as well. But that's coming down the line as well. But there you go, a bit of nostalgia for you about how we're here, why we're here, and all the rest of it. So just to point out that fact as well, for anybody who wants the great price of a set of washes at the moment, you also get a free dust wash for the normal standard wash, not for the thick wash, that's different. But for this one as well, for this weekend only, I think these are 27 plus VAT, and then also you get a free wash as well. So you're getting like 3 or 4 bottles free. So yes, we've got those as well.
I have a
so
question.
Yes?
You know your old spray booth?
Yes.
The cardboard cutout spray booth near the window.
Yes.
Put the picture back up a minute.
This one, yeah.
Is that literally the width of the room?
No. So the way it is, if you imagine this photo is the other side of that room. It was like an ingle, and it's a fireplace there. Okay. It was a very, very old house I lived that is built in I think it was 1830 it was built. Right. So yeah, it's very, very old. So what it is, this is quite narrow. This is probably only a little bit wider than what you can see here. And then that other photo you see, sorry, can't see that. That's something else coming later. So down in here, there's like a fireplace on literally to my right there. There's a fireplace, but the room itself is probably still only about 4 foot across.
I can say it's very thin because the radiator's on one side and it looks like there's a wall.
Wall, yeah.
Doesn't it? Yeah. The picture looks like there's a wall where your desk is, and it's like where your toolbox is. Yeah. It was really narrow. I thought that was like the width of it.
Yeah, it was a little room. It was very, very narrow. And so I could touch both walls from both sides. But what do you imagine? This is like an alcove in here. The fireplace is here on the right. But this fireplace went down. And then on the other side, I had a wardrobe, which I converted into a drying bay. So what it was, the wardrobe, I used to have a fan heater on the bottom. Yeah. And at the top, I made slots, and then the air, and I grills in there, and the air would blow underneath. So you had that side had the dryer. This was the thing, and then on behind me, like here, the equivalent was a bench running down there, and right behind me, there's the door as you come in. So
where that fireplace is really, if that was a room, somebody put a wardrobe or a set of drawers or something, and then you've got the desk the other side of the. Yeah, I get you. Where the fireplace sticks out.
Yeah. Can you just show the previous picture, Phil, of the desk, the big picture of the desk?
The pasting table?
Yeah. The pasting table.
It looks like a pasting table you're working on. You mean this
one?
That's one, yeah. Is that your compressor on the floor?
Basically, I had to pump it by hand. Yes. I'll tell you what that is. God. That was my backup compressor, which consisted of a car inner tube.
Oh, right.
So what I used to do is I had a car in a tube, and I used to pump it up and then use the air off of that back in the day.
Makes sense,
before I bought a compressor. And then, to be honest with you, I bought a Ripmax compressor, which didn't have an auto stop-start.
And I could imagine you.
Yeah. That stuff. especially at the airbrushes I used to spray at to try and get 30 psi. I had a thigh this big on one leg.
The thing is, there is a lesson from all this. You don't need a big fancy setup like this.
No,
Build a
not
decent
at
model.
all.
Hey,
Yeah.
but it helps though, doesn't it?
It does help. It's a bit more comfort. Yeah. But yeah, but the funny thing is, looking back at that photo, it shows as well, if I just take you back just a sec, some of the interesting things on here is that I've got diagrams up here. This is for the Hornet. So it's about the ejector seat and the actual stencil data, because all at this point I was doing was mainly Hornets. That's all I was doing in these days. So I had a couple. Obviously, this was a commission as well. This was a commission for a MiG that famously got crushed. But, you know, I always keep this photo back. It's one of those things about, looking back at where you came from. But it does show you don't need all the fancy kits and gubbins and all the rest of it. This was my tool tray. Literally, that's all I had in the way of tools as well. None of this fancy stuff and all this DSP stuff, and all the rest of it. Look, fancy old pea cutter. I still use a disposable knife, just snap off the bit when it gets a bit blunt and go. Tamiya razor saw.
What glue
But
was
yeah,
you on?
none of the other stuff.
Tamiya glue.
Yeah, Tamiya glue.
Bottle tops.
Yeah, I've got Tamiya extra thin. I think that's Gator glue. That'll be Zappa Gap. Yeah. And then this over here is the old tacky glue. Used to use it because it's really good for putting down canopies.
In your red tool tray, there's 2 Tamiya bottles there as well. All that
got
Sprue
2 in
glue.
there. Yeah, it probably would have been Sprue glue at that point as well. Yeah.
So I've got a question then for all of us.
Go on, Em.
What was your first airbrush?
I can tell you mine.
What was the first airbrush you had? I can tell you mine.
Yeah, I had an Aztec. Awful, absolutely awful. I had the Humbrol thing, the jar cyclone thing. We all had that, but that doesn't count as an airbrush. But my first proper airbrush I had an Aztec, and it was the baby Aztec, not like the 470 with the big handle and all the rest of it. I moved up to that, and I got the one with the mahogany box, that it came in out of 470.
I've had one of them and it was crap, if I'm honest. I didn't know if that was crap because I didn't know how to use it properly, or it wasn't a great airbrush. But the one I had first was a Sprite, DeVilbiss Sprite Major, was it?
Yeah.
Do you remember those?
Yes, yeah.
I could say it, and then various after, but I think it was the DeVilbiss first, and then like I say, I got an Aztec because they were all the rage, weren't they, back in the 90s? You remember the testers Aztec things with the wooden fake wooden box and the caps and stuff.
You used to have the nozzles and have to screw them in. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember somebody sent me one. I've got one knocking around somewhere where we mentioned it on the show. Yeah. I said, you know what I mean? And they did.
But they are awful because I had that one as well back in the day. I used to literally I used to run off of cans.
Yeah. Yes.
So I used to have a can between my thighs to keep it warm. To try and keep the temperature up in the can, stop it freezing. So I'd have frozen nuts and thighs trying to keep this thing going. Yeah, it was awful.
That's probably why I failed at airbrushing, because like you was on cans. And then I remember, I think my first compressor, actually I ain't long got rid of it because it used to be at the old Bentley shop, was a one from Machine Mart, a little 50-litre tank thing, because I used to spray car doors and all sorts out the back of my mum and dad's with it as well. So it doubled up as like an airbrush compressor and a full, but obviously there's no air in it. So you go halfway through a door, when you're painting a full-size door, you just run out of air. It was a nightmare, but that thing. And then I think first proper compressor was a Revell one, which again, I only got rid of recently. That was thing because it rusted through. On one of the part, it comes down with the thing, it rusted out. I had it welded up. I think I welded it up and tacked it up and whatever the pinholes. But then obviously I've got one of your compressors and his compressors.
And he's got all of our compressors. He's got a few of them. My compressor history goes literally from that. I used to use a car inner tube, and I'd pump it up and get as much into it until this thing is literally like rock hard, and I could spray pretty well off of that and then just keep pumping it up. But obviously I had no regulator, that was it. It was just going at it. So I did that. And then a friend of mine, he does diving. He got me an air tank because obviously they're only certified for so long. And when it was out of license, It used to be that. Sorry, mate, you got to wait. I know. Have a biscuit, and then go and eat a biscuit. I can bribe her. So I used to have a diver's tank, and I had a regulator on it then, and all the rest of it, and that worked really well. And I used to take it down to the dive place and then recharge it. It used to put pound coins or whatever it was into it, and then recharge it, get it filled up, and that used to last really well. And then I went from that to it was one of these. I think it's Revell made it. It was blue, and it was a buzz box. It was just a diaphragm one. Plug it in, and but the trouble with that is you'd be spraying, doing a really nice job, and then it'd overheat and cut out, and you wouldn't be able to use it for 2 hours till the thermal cutout clicked off. And in that time, your paint's drying in your airbrush, and you can't get rid of it. So it was like, yes. And then I must admit, I bought a Ripmax compressor, and I used to have to manually turn it on and off and lean down and click it on and off. And then afterwards I bought from, I can't remember what it was now, it was like Lidl's or Aldi or whatever it was, and it was a stop start on the pedal, so it's the power supply to it. So that was brilliant, because I was like under my desk, and I could just click it on when I needed it, and if I felt the pressure going down, I'd click it on, and people would say, oh, you've got an automatic. Oh yeah, I'm posh. No, I'm not. I'm on a foot pedal. And as I felt the pressure sort of drop down, in those days I used to spray at 25 psi everything, 30, 40. But as soon as it started to go down, I used to click it with my foot, and then it would clamp it back up, and away we went. It was brilliant. So, yes, happy days.
My first one was obviously a Humbrol thing with a can.
Yeah.
Everyone starts off with a thing. And then my second one, I'm not sure it was either this one, which is a Revell airbrush, which is
that Badger one, though? It's a Badger, isn't it?
Yeah. Reboxed by Badger, or it was this one, which is a Tamiya one.
Which is Iwata.
Which is a
Iwata. It's an Iwata clone,
Yeah. I don't think it's close. It's actually...
it is made by him under license. Yeah, it is. It's just rebadged, yeah.
Yeah. And then I had a cheap Chinese compressor with a tank. But I think now it must have always been faulty, because it had never turned off when the pressure got to a certain level.
Yeah.
It just used to blow out the blow-off valve on it.
Yeah.
It never used to cut off, so it just kept going and going and going, and then suddenly, psst.
Yeah, that's what my old one used to do. The Ripmax, if you didn't turn it off, it would just blow the release off of it, and it used to burn. As I say, I went with
they got the pressure valve bit on it.
Yeah,
they got the bit to stop it, but I don't think it just never worked. It wasn't until then I got another one that I realised, that should have turned itself off.
Yeah,
so that's how they were supposed to be, but
no. I must admit, I had that bloody awful 470, and they used to break because I was a bit heavy-handed, because you needed to make them work. That's why a certain other modeler of the Australian ones like this with it, with his thumb on the top, you need to make it work. So, and it used to snap. And if it snapped, that was it. So I used to take it down to my local art store where I got it from. And because they come with a lifetime warranty, they just give me another one. So, I it's like, right. And at one point I was doing it, and I went down to my local art store in my town, and we haven't got them anymore. We don't do them. It was like, oh, what do I do? They said, you have to send it back. Well, I need an airbrush now because I'm doing commissions. I was very friendly, I still am, with Vince at Models for Sale. So I phoned him up one evening, said, Vince, got any airbrushes? And he said, yeah, I've got one. I said, all right. I said, can you chuck us one on my order? Because I knew he had an order coming out to me. And he said, yeah. Didn't even know what it was, right? And it turned up, and what it was the Evolution. And I've still got it. And here it is. And that is the airbrush it turned up. And this is the first time I had a metal-bodied airbrush, and it was literally like night and day. It was like great at that point.
I bet we've all got one of them. Have you still got your Evos? I've got an Evo.
My Evo was my first proper airbrush.
Yeah,
I had one as a Christmas,
and it's all Phil's fault. Have you still got
my
yours?
fault? We've all got them. Wave your airbrushes, everyone.
Wave your Evos, everybody, because this is Phil's fault when you bloody ordering Steam.
Do you know what?
Silver line that doesn't have the
Yours is the posh one.
He had a good posh look. Couldn't buy the pop model.
He had the next one up. Didn't have the budget one like we've got.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got the silver line as well, but that's only because. Oh, where did I get it from?
Everything
it
here
was somewhere Phil said, "Oh, you can get them from here." So I ordered one, and they didn't have any of the normal ones in stock, so they sent me the silver line. instead.
Hey,
Posh.
I think we all ought to go old school and revisit an Evo and do a kit with them.
Get the old Evo
I
out.
tell you what. Hey, I
Mine's
tell you
still
what.
clicking,
Let's do it
look.
for turkey shoot.
Yes.
I've been
Yeah.
using mine. It's plugged into me airline. I didn't even realise I was using
good
it.
airbrushes. All right. Been lasting a while. But yeah, because everyone thought I was on, like these days, can you imagine it? If you were, you know, a modeler now, because this would have been, I don't know, looking at my timeline, I probably had this thing, would have been back then in around about, I don't know. Crikey, look at me, look at the picture, see what airbrush is in there. I can't see an airbrush in there. I was probably using a 470 in that photo. So it would have been out after that. So it would have been about 2010. Yeah, I then got this thing. And it was like such a night and day. And everyone thought I was on the take, you know, because obviously I was mentioning H&S airbrushes. I never got a single penny or freebie or anything out of them. For all the work I did for them for all those years, I got nothing, not a thing. Can you imagine it nowadays? I'd be monetized. I'd have an affiliate link. I'd be like this with it. Literally, I would have been loaded. But yeah, in those days, it wasn't such a thing. But no.
God.
Very
it was, wasn't it? The airbrush to have because of Mr. Flory.
Sorry.
Ordering steam belts.
Guilty.
Good airbrush, though. It was a good airbrush. So what about you, John?
I bet everyone that's got the Evo has also got one of those
bengers.
One of those Chinese little nail file drill things.
Do you know what?
Yeah.
When I was going through the photos for this week, I found it. I've got my original picture that I put up, and I was going to include it on there. How many people still got the nail files? Because I used to buy them in bulk out of Hong Kong, because they used to came from the same place my Sanders did. So they're good. One. They are quality.
I've got one. I'm just looking for it.
Mine's actually in the shed in my little plastic toolbox. I found it the other day when I was looking for something else. So yeah, I've still got mine. And funnily enough, I'm sure it still works on the same battery because it's got such a bad connection.
It hasn't blown
out on them. I might dig it out actually with this afternoon when we have lunch. So John, what was your first airbrush?
Well, I asked for an airbrush when I was a kid for Christmas.
Oh yeah.
And I was so disappointed when I took the wrapping off. It was a it was a Badger.
All right.
But it was basically a spray gun. It was one with the bottle underneath.
Mm.
So yeah, it was single action. So it was just a spray gun, and it with the old air canister, it was rubbish.
Yeah.
So I never really used it, to be honest. And then the first one was the thanks to Mr. Flory, the Evo.
Mm.
Yeah. You still got your little cricket. Sorry, but and you still got your little airbrushes, them little cricket things.
What? That? Yeah, I know the one you mean.
Oh, Phil, that little thing. Yeah, Spark. That was a.
The noisy cricket. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that single action? That was single action.
Yeah, it's single action. Yeah, single action. Yeah, if you want to dial it in, you got it on the back for your spray thing. Yeah.
Adam Savage swears by single action ones, doesn't he?
Yeah. And it's really expensive. This is actually the most expensive airbrush I've got. And it's only half an airbrush. Where's the rest of it?
Is that harder than steam back? That's harder than steam back, isn't it?
No, this is iWater.
Oh, iWater, is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
What did it still do them? You've had that a few years, haven't you?
Oh yeah, I've had a long time, this thing. But yeah, it's got a tiniest little needle in it and all the rest of it. Yeah, it's the most expensive airbrush. It's like half an airbrush. They charge you twice as much. So,
and it's not even double action. It's a bit of a rip-off.
No,
really?
It's just single action. Yeah. The whole point of this one, I was told about it, it was designed to be used for artists who were used to using spray cans. That's why it's just a single trigger. That's why it's got a big flat trigger on the top as well. It's to represent a spray can. And the movement on it is the same as a spray can. So it's for people who used to using spray cans. Apparently it's an easy switch over. So, but yeah. Interesting, bless them. But yeah, you can't go wrong with an Evo. I need to do a history of that. Mine's funny enough, it's just starting to go a slight hue colour. I don't know, it depends on everyone's monitors now, but it's not silver anymore. It's like got a, I don't know, like a goldy sort of hue to it.
Going like that.
Mine is a bit.
Yeah, mine's gone at the back. The back bit has the front bit's pretty good. It's the The back bit's gone. So yeah, I know what you mean. Like I say, it's not going to show up on camera, is it? But I think no, I don't know. Look, can kind of see it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know what you mean. Wearing through, you've wore through the chrome to the brass.
I was going to say I'm wearing through the chrome. That's the thing. But never mind. Right, what's happening in chat? Shall I have a look in this chat? Jim says first proper airbrush that he got was a Badger double action around about 1981 or so. See, I was really late to the party. I was like 2000. I think I started on mine, something like that. No, it would have been a bit earlier, about 98, I think it was. So,
do you know what? In our chat, it's all finger.
Oh, is it all finger? The Finger Boys. The Finger Boys are coming.
Yeah, the Finger Boys are here. Everybody. I'll tell you what, though, you've got to say for that finger airbrush, how much of a bargain it is for what you get. It's. I still use mine. I've got mine there.
Do you know what? I only use them now. I've got two. And I've got one with the 0.2 needle into it. But I find the 0.2 needle is so fine. It's a little too fine. It's great for doing detail work, but any other joke. So no, I put the 0.3 in it, is it? And it works absolutely fine with the 0.3. But I think really for, say, 18, I think they were at one point, they were £17.20.
Yeah, they've gone up now to 25 quid, I think.
Yeah, I know they've gone up a bit
from
now,
21.
But they were literally
21 for ages.
For something that was just over or under 18 quid, it's ridiculous how well it works. It's just ridiculous. But funny enough, I did see the other day somebody was actually having a go at me for it on the interweb.
Yeah.
And it was like, like a cheap crap airbrush that Flory uses or something. And I actually thought, really, honestly, you've obviously never used one. You've never tried one. Or if you have, you've used it for half hour and gone, oh, that's horrible. It's really clunky. So when they bed in, they're really nice. So
John says all the 200 H&S airbrush is really worth it these days. If a £25 finger does the same thing, same thing.
Yeah, no. I'd say not. I'd say buy a finger brush and...
You know, like I've often said, it's that thing, like people say about it, one of these airbrushes is cheaper than a needle for H&S. Yeah. So, it's ridiculous, really. But it's true. So, yeah, I just don't get it, you know? But
you're paying for a brand name, aren't you? Same with Iwata and stuff, really. Because, I mean, them fingers are Iwata clones at the end of the day, aren't they? They're
of course they are, knockoffs. Yeah.
Which, you know, it is what it is, but it's a very good knockoff, to be fair. And like I say, for even if you've got up now to 25 British pounds, it's still a cheap bit of kit.
I must admit, my everyday user now, and still my favourite, is my Iwata. I must admit. But then I didn't buy that new. I bought that off a member years ago on the site he was selling it. But the fingers are good, I must admit, and they are very similar to the Iwatas when you take them apart.
I bet you could interchange parts. Go on, sorry, Andy.
Do you have an expensive Procon?
I've got my Procon as well, which is for really fine work. Yeah.
But to be honest, the Procon, which is a clone completely, you know, because it is just an Iwata airbrush, I think, the Procons, but it's one of those ones where, as I say, I think the Procons is a fantastic airbrush. Had that for a long time. That was a 90 quid airbrush. Yeah, my H&S's, which I've still got them all behind me, you know, they're like 270 quid now, something like that. And it's like, But again, I got suckered into that thing about, you know, you pay some decent money, you end up with a decent tool. And I think that was true, again, if you're going back through history. But now the Chinese stuff, it used to be like the Chinese metal's rubbish. Yes, it was. It was crap. I'll give you that. Now it's not. Now, let's face it, everything's made in China anyway, you know? So, but people's argument always used to be, oh, it's cheap metal, it's cheap this, it's cheap that. Nowadays, they've really got their act together, you know? I think if you were in the 90s and early 2000s, the Chinese stuff was a bit iffy because usually it was a copy badly. But nowadays, you know, it's not. It's really, really good. And Fenger stuff. And I say, I'm not on affiliated with Fenger. They don't pay me. I've never spoken to Fenger. It's just that it was that thing about like cheap airbrushes. I think we were talking about one day. So I went out and bought the cheapest one we could find. And it was that. And it was like, it works. Why? It shouldn't work. It should be crap. But actually knock it. You know, I would love to sit here and say, oh yeah, this is rubbish, you should have one of these and pay 300 quid, because you do pay. But actually I'm using this thinking, why am I using this? Because this actually works just as well, and this one's got a built-in Mac valve as well, and I've got a lock on it, and these are all extras. It's a bit like owning a Merc or a BMW. You know what it's like. Oh, you can have it for like 20 grand, but by the time you've added all the bits you need, it's now £100,000, please. You know, and it's the same. Yeah. The fingers come with everything you need straight off the bat. So they are the Kia of airbrushes.
Yeah.
Boy, don't be calling Kia.
I know.
I agree, because you get all the extras for nothing, don't you?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. You get all your optional extras, which do cost more, for nothing. So yeah. Can't fault it.
I'll tell you what, Andy, Phil's having a Kia next.
I'll tell you what, I would. After what it just cost me to get my bloody car serviced, I'm definitely having a bloody Kia.
He's joining the South Korean club, mate, because
it is. That's
Korean Hyundai.
The thing is, with the cost of living in this day and age, if you're thinking of starting off airbrushing and stuff, why are you going to pay £250 for an airbrush where you could get a finger, and see how you get on with it? You know,
100%. Yeah, couldn't agree more.
I've often said the thing is, it's one of those things. Airbrushes are like cars. Everybody has their favourite, and normally they stick with them. I can honestly say I've used everybody's, and everybody's airbrush does the same thing. You know, they all work really well. So it doesn't matter if you're a Pache fan, if you're an Iwata fan, if you're a Badger fan, you know, or a Harder and Steenbeck fan, and all the rest of it. They all do the same thing because they're just atomizing paint. The best bit is, though, is what works well for you. You know, as we said, if you've got an airbrush, it's working for you, stick with it, because the old muscle memory of airbrushing is the most important thing, you know, which I imagine, Matt's the same with full-size spray guns. You know, you get your muscle memory for your full-size spray gun, and you know what you're doing with it.
It's ergonomics as well, isn't it? How comfortable it is in your hand. You know, I used to run Sarters and DeVilbiss full-size spray guns. I had Iwaters, but I never really run them much. But again, they all do the same thing. You know what I mean? And I have now got some, because I'm restoring the Beetle, some Temu spray guns, which are clones of DeVilbiss, Sarter, whatever. And I've used them, and I'm like, you know, these are 50 quid spray guns. I wouldn't dream when I was professionally doing it of using a 50 quid spray gun. Do you know what I mean? Mine were high-end, expensive spray guns. Yeah. And now, like you've just said, everything's made in China anyway, pretty much. So I've seen no difference of using a Temu spray gun. Yeah. To what I used to use before. The atomized paint, you've got all the you know, the whistles and bells on them, and all for you know, whatever it is, 50 quid. You know, I'd probably get laughed at if I went professionally into now a body shop and a spray shop, and I'm pulling out me with Temu spray guns. But I'll tell you what, I could probably produce a top end job with them than anybody in there could do with the DeVilbiss and Sarters and Iwaters and whatever else there is nowadays. Do you know what I mean? Because it's experience, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is. Absolutely.
John's put a link up for the finger on Amazon. It's now £27.55.
Oh, it's going up. I'm going to have to get a couple.
Wow. Jesus.
I'm going to have to get a couple then, just to make sure it don't go past £30.
Anyway, have you seen now, talking of airbrushes, because it's quite a good subject, because we all like airbrushes. Have you seen now that actually it's come full circle? Because Display have just released now an airbrush. It's been out a while now.
Oh, yes.
All right, that's not all dish it totally. Come on.
No, I've not tried one, so I can't.
Anyway, if I can find a photo of it, I'm just trying to get a photo.
Is it a spray? Would you call it an airbrush or a spray gun?
Well, it is a spray gun in theory, because it doesn't internally mix the paint. Oh God, sorry, I'm on an advert. Sorry. Get rid of that before we get copyright. Jesus, I just want a picture of it. Somebody, did you just do a picture of it? No point trying to get on the Display website. You never see it. Anyway, right. Okay, so where is it? That's it. Right, I'm going to have to pinch somebody else's site here, but never mind. This is it. So this is basically back to the old day where you have a bottle on the bottom and it siphon feeds it up. So there's no internal mixing of the air and it blows it. And you can do it downwards as well, isn't it? That's it. So you can put like a pen in it and flick it and do all of this. So this is now the latest and greatest. There you go. That's a better photo. So basically that old humble, awful thing has now been reinvented slightly with a new twist on it, because at least they have got a fine needle on the end of it instead of probably the bottleneck it had before. So, and to atomize it and work that way. But this is it now. But they are claiming this is clean, you see, because you don't have to clean your airbrush anymore. So I haven't used one. I wouldn't.
But that's only got one spray pattern in it. You can't adjust.
I don't know. Does it? I thought it did. I thought you got a thing on the top. You could adjust it slightly because it comes with different needles as well for different amounts.
Mm.
So that's a bit like the testers one then, isn't it? The old Aztec.
Yeah. So what it is, the whole point is now you just unscrew your needle, or just put a cap on it and that's it. So you just put your colour in and away you go. So
you still have to clean your colour out of the cup though, don't you?
Yeah, but apparently these are like just ready to go paints. You just put the cap on and carry and just change it. Just grab the next one, unscrew the top, and then just carry on.
Right. So then there's going to be a full range of paints.
All washable bottles. Look, you get a full set of washable bottles for it as well, you see. So you can mix them up, all your mixes, so you're sat like ready to go, and all you do is clip them in and spray. So
right, okay, right. So you're going to get empty bottles then, and then off your Tamiya paint range, you're going to then pre-mix and thin your colours.
So you just got them all there ready to go,
and then you pour them in, and then they should be ready to go. But then, my thing is, even if they're sealed, the thinners evaporate.
Mm-hmm.
So you still got to. Completely.
If you change the nozzle thing, you're going to have to clean that out.
Yeah, but usually you don't. You just keep the nozzle with it. If you see in that last photo, this one here, you see you leave the nozzle on the thing, so you don't actually have to clean it or do anything with it.
Oh, so
I think it's a bit gimmicky. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to sell it. I'm just simply saying that it's But again, they're just claiming it's supposed to be a lightweight, easy way. I think it's more done for the Gumpler trade.
Yeah, buy one, Phil, and see what it's like.
Oh, thanks.
Get Kareem to get you one.
Get Kareem to get one in. I'll do it as a test. But yeah, they basically claiming now that this is a new invention for the airbrush, and I'm thinking, no, it's not. Humbrol did it in the 60s and 70s when that first thing came out, the siphon feed one, and just that was awful. But the idea as well, you can put pens in them, innit? You put your marker pens in and just...
Right, but just the point is with suction feed, and this is why the professional paint trade went from suction to gravity, you waste paint because there's always some at the bottom.
Yes,
however much you do this, you cannot get it because, gravity is gravity. You can't get it to suck up, and hence why everything now is gravity fed rather than suction, because obviously you use all the product that's in there. So you're going to potentially have wastage of paint that's left in the bottom of your jar thing, whatever, that won't get sucked up and used. So, and as we know as well, paint separates. Sorry, John, paint separates. So all the thinners, the heavy stuff will go to the bottom, and all the thinners and the whatever goes to the top. So, you're potentially going to lose pigmentation.
Tim in our chat says, are they solving a problem that's not a problem?
Yeah, probably, I reckon. But there you go. Until you've tried one, you don't know. But
how long does it take to clean an airbrush out?
30 seconds like this, because you just put some thinners in and blow it through.
Don't ask Phil that question, because...
Shush now. It may have just been a bit sticky when I tried to use it the other day. Anyway, if you need to, you can spend £22 now, because look, it's on... Look, there you go. That's what you need. £22.90. You can have the Humbrol all-purpose airbrush. Good luck.
Have you ever tried using one lately?
Yes. Oh, not lately, no.
But now you've got experience with an airbrush, not back in the day when you didn't know what you were doing. Have you actually tried to use one of them now?
It might work now, I must admit. Last time I tried to use one, I remember hanging it was a Prowler, Matchbox Prowler off a coat hanger in my barn. Literally can of air and that doing this, and it was... It's just running paint off the bottom of this thing. Completely flooded it. It was awful. So I gave up. I think the kit went in the bin.
So the airbrush went in the bin. The paint went in the bin.
Airbrush went in the bin, and then started back the next day with a paintbrush and just carry on.
Here's a challenge then for a turkey shoot.
Yeah, so we're going to end up doing a crap kit with a crap airbrush. Do we have to use the Humbrol brushes that come in a preset, you know, the gift set where they've been bent at 90 degrees, the plastic handled ones from back in the day?
They go anywhere near solvent and they just disintegrate into fresh
They just dissolve.
Them
yes.
ones. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bless. But yeah, they're interesting. Again, I like it. It's a bit like back in the day. I have one conversation with a guy from Harder and Steenbeck who approached me at Telford donkeys years ago, and he was saying about, oh, we've seen some of your videos, thank you very much. And I'm thinking, oh, good, you know, going to get a freebie. No. Anyway, he said, oh, we're working on something a little bit, you know, different and all the rest of it, but we'd like your feedback. So I did give him a full thing of all my feedback. I said about the nozzles, they're crap, the alloy's too soft, you need a stronger soft, because obviously they splay, the nozzles splay with a needle hitting it. That was my main thing. My other big gripe as well was that their built-in Mac valve starts at like 20 psi, doesn't go to 0. So what's the point? They literally use it. And there was a couple of other things I mentioned about it. And I think I upset them because he wanted feedback, so I gave it to him. But he did tell me at the time they were working on a revolutionary new type of airbrush that's not been seen before. Still haven't seen it now.
I still haven't seen it.
No. So again, that's why every time they did like this new one that came out recently, it's like, oh, a new thing. Oh, perhaps this is the one I was told about over 10 years ago. But no, it's not.
It's ridiculous. It's reinventing the wheel, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, there's only so many. It's like the wheel.
Paint.
A wheel goes round, an airbrush atomizes paint. What's the difference, you know? So if it's going to do something different, it won't be an airbrush. It'll be something else. A plasma paint thing. Lasers. I want lasers. I want freaking lasers and just, you know. I want to do it. You know, you get those rust guns with a laser that takes rust off stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I want one of them that's put paint on. That you go.
You've got one in your hand, mate. It's called an airbrush.
I know, but I want it to do like a line that it goes across. Yes, I know. Well, is it biscuit time? There we go. I have to pay the toll.
pay the tax.
Pay the tax. Bless. But yeah, you know, again, it's one of those ones. Sometimes it frustrates me when you get influencers and stuff, and they're pushing all this stuff, and at the end of the day, I'm looking at it going, it's a freaking airbrush. Or it's a sander, or it's whatever, but people try and reinvent and then charge an extra 50% because it's for our community. Yet you can go and get the same thing for, you know, some other job, and it's like half the price, you know, because it's got a different label on it or something.
The only reason these influencers push things is because they're getting the freebies from the company to push it, aren't they?
Yeah.
Not having any more.
At the end of the day.
Have any more. Yeah, I know, and absolutely. I didn't sell out to that last airbrush one when they were giving everything away for that. We'll send you everything and put you on a retainer and all that. No.
Oh, what, the Gallery or whatever it is?
Yeah. Sorry.
Which have
I
been
will
out
not
for
sell
ages,
myself out. Unless BMW or Mercedes turn up, then I'm sold. New Range Rover, because I can't give them away, because I can't sell them.
Not Kia or Hyundai.
Yeah, they could as well. I could be done for a price. You know, I have morals to a certain level. But yeah, you know, again, it's one of those ones, isn't it? I don't do things out of principle, but sometimes I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I've been doing this too long to sell out. Are you going to calm down a bit? Yes, this is very good, but we are live. I know you want to be live. Had her a year yesterday. I had a thing pop up on my Facebook. So yes.
That's flown, isn't it?
Here a whole year. Remember when you had a garden to play in? Those were the days when I used to leave the doors open. She used to play. Right, come on, down you get, mate. I've got to carry on. So yes, good job. Right, let's have a look in chat, see what people are just saying down in here. Let me just go back a bit because I've lost it all. Where are we? There we go. At John, I had one of those Badger spray guns back in 1979.
Yeah.
See? I think he's just saying how old you are, John.
Just like the Humbrol one, that Humbrol one, it's basically the same.
Yeah.
Ruined your Christmas, that, didn't it, John?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wouldn't impressed.
Did you make your feelings felt at the time? What's this rubbish?
When I opened the end and saw Badger, I thought, ooh,
yeah.
And then
I've got a Badger Patriot.
That's not as bad as my one. When we used to have a caravan, right? So, and I looked through the window one day, like you do, and there was a BMX in there, right? And I thought, great, I'm getting a BMX for Christmas. Sorted. Told all my mates I'm getting a BMX for Christmas and all the rest of it. Get to Christmas, no bike. So I'm like, but you had a BMX in the caravan. Yeah, it wasn't for you. That's for somebody who's storing it for his mate, for his son's Christmas present. So I thought I was getting a BMX. Imagine my surprise when I come down, there's no BMX shape wrapped up. Yeah, it turns out he was storing it for his mate because he had nowhere to keep it. So he put it in the caravan, keep it out of the way. And I was told, well, that serves you right for being nosy.
Yeah, exactly. What sort of BMX was it? Can you remember?
It was a mongoose.
Oh my god, it's a proper BMX thing as well. That's
no wonder I was excited. I thought, literally.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, have you seen the prices of them now?
Oh, I hate to think what they are now.
If you can get a mongoose, original 80s mongoose, BMX, look at the prices of what they're fetching. Jesus. Oh my god, they make choppers look, 10 a penny.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Wow, they're proper. That was a proper BMX. God, you should have broken the caravan fill and had a little go on it.
I got excited not long ago when I saw Rally were reintroducing the Mark II chopper.
PC price,
limited edition, until I saw the price.
You see the price. Yeah.
You could have got one on, installments, John. I tell you what, could see you on your post round on a chopper.
That's it. You could have a little trailer for it.
Little trailer on your rally chopper.
With a flag, you'd be fine. Anyway, Henrik says, Pache Turbo for analog Photoshop. There you go, you see. Pache, I must admit, I used to love my Pache. I sold it. It's not that I didn't get on with it, but I was not fine with other things. And somebody said to me about, do you ever want to sell it? And so I sold it. Jim says he's got the Fenger airbrush. Used them more than his 2 Gallieri units. Well, there you go, you see.
There you go.
Just saying. Gordon says, morning all, from a grey, dull Ayrshire. It's salmon, avocado and beetroot for breakfast. That's posh, isn't it?
Very cool.
I had Frosties.
I had poached eggs and bacon and then because we had got any bread, I had to have a naan bread.
Naan bread
for breakfast. It was nice. I enjoyed it.
Very good. Bob says, hello from Bangkok. Used a lot of airbrushes through years. I find the Pache to be the toughest of any of the airbrushes. Absolutely. I think, again, a lot. If you've never used a Pache airbrush, it's that thing. They are like quite old school, but it's nice. The Pache airbrushes, mine was a side feeder. That's why I didn't get on with it. The old side feed one for it. And I used to tip it. Didn't work a lot. So,
have you got a Pache in your extensive collection, Matt?
No, I've never owned a Pache airbrush.
Have you not owned a Pache?
No, I've not.
You need to get one then.
I've looked at Pache. Again, don't know, never appealed.
I always think of Pache being a bit like, when you go to those shops and they've got really expensive pens. And they come in like nice cases and quilted and they're like that. So it's a certain old school thing to owning a Pache airbrush.
So it's like a quill. Is that what you're saying?
Keep it, basically. You have a glass top table with them underneath, and then you get them out, and stuff like that. Yeah, right next to your quill and your ink pot.
Are they still going Pache, or have they ceased to exist?
I don't know, to be honest. I imagine.
Yeah, it's looking now they are, yeah.
They're still going, are they?
How much is a Pache mid-range one now, Andy?
100 quid.
Yeah. Oh, they haven't gone stupid then. I thought they might have gone expensive, but they're still there then.
They all seem to be, the ones I'm looking at all seem to be bottom feed ones though.
Oh, right. Yeah, I had a side feed. That's why I didn't really get on with it. I used to tip it everywhere by mistake.
Didn't you put the lid on it?
Yeah, I had one of those ones where it was interchangeable. You had tiny little ones, so it was great for doing little tiny jobs,
Yeah.
Because it was like a 1/2 mil colour cup on the side. And then obviously other ones, which are the bigger ones, you had lids. The small ones, you didn't have lids for it, I don't think.
You go up to sort of like $250. This is all in dollars. $250. Down to $90.
Yeah. Oh, I thought they might have gone expensive these days. That's probably what they were before.
So they're
to be
roughly
honest.
about like Badger prices, then I presume, aren't they? Because
Yeah.
Badger's got like their Patriot about £100, which is a standard thing. I don't think that's a bad airbrush. I've got a Patriot, to be honest. And then they go right up to some proper expensive ones, Badger, don't they?
Or $136 or paying 4 monthly interest-free payments of £34 with shop pay.
Oh,
there you go.
Is that like Clara or whatever it is?
Clara, yeah, everything's Clara, isn't it?
Anyway, a couple more down here. Jack Daniels is good, says he's got a pair of fingers. He's got 0.2 and 0.3. That's what I run. He's got an iWater HPC. I've got one of them as well. A Badger 150. I don't have on his current roster. Absolutely. So I'm running down in there at the moment from my one. You can just see over here. My current one in here for doing my metallics is my iWater Eclipse. I've got the HPCS. That just does metals. I've got that's my 270, and I've got a pair of fingers. And the fingers, I've got a 0.2 and a 0.3 in there. So yes, that's my current go-to. Model IG, he says, hi, always building the 144 scale Lockheed Orion, and he's watching. Good kit. Nice. Now, I've never built an Orion, but I want to build one.
What scale?
Well, Hasegawa do it in thingy, don't they?
Got the old 72nd one.
72nd one.
That's
proper
about
old
it.
school, that is. Yeah.
I could say that's got to be an old kit, because I remember having that as a kid.
Yeah, it is. It's proper old.
Oh, John, just what I remember. You remember we were on about flying boats the other day when I spoke to you?
Yeah.
Marlin. It's the Martin Marlin. I've got
that's it,
as a guy. We couldn't remember the name of it, could we? So, but yeah, that's you don't think it with Orion, do you? You can get a Poseidon, can't you, from that big planes, is it? They do a 72nd Poseidon.
Yeah, the Poseidon's out now, yeah. But
yeah,
the Orion got
like
quite overlooked, considering the Canadians use it. Quite a few people have used it.
I think the Hasegawa Orion's like raised details and everything, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, that's why I've never done it. I'm hoping somebody would bring one out, but no. See, there you go. We'll start this here. We're starting it now. We need a new tooled 72nd Orion.
No probably underrepresented, isn't it? The Orion.
Yeah.
72nd.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think that's it, isn't it? The old Hasegawa kit is it. I don't think anybody else
is. I don't know if anyone else
has done it. I think, like I say, same with the Lockheed Neptune as well. That's only done by Hasegawa back in the day.
Paul says, didn't Tammy do an Orion?
No.
Tamiya's one was the 144 one, wasn't it?
Tamiya, did they do 144?
I think it's part of the... Didn't they do one back in the day?
I don't remember.
Don't know. Can't remember now.
Probably 1/200th scale or something.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, it would have been, knowing them. Yeah.
It's surprising because there's a few of those like US Navy types that are... I mean, the Viking's the same, innit? That's not been done for ages, has it?
I thought Trumpeter were bringing out a 48 Viking new Jordan, weren't they?
Yes. Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they were, weren't they? That's gone a bit quiet.
No, was it 132nd?
Or was it 30? It could have been 32nd, actually.
I think it was 32nd. Trumpeter said about it in 32nd, wouldn't it? Be massive.
Yes, might have been. Wow, that's good. That's going to be like the Devastator or whatever it is, where they've announced it in 10 years' time, and we're not,
Comes down the line.
We might see it in our lifetime, we might not. A good plane though in 32nd, don't you think?
Yeah, no.
Would you
it
build one in 32nd? No,
I probably would, because it folds up. Once it's compacted up, it'd be quite nice.
No,
you know?
No.
Massive wings that come out, and then the tail comes up. Be fine. Somebody in 30 seconds, somebody will motorize it so it does it.
Yeah, it probably would actually. Yeah, definitely.
Elgit says, or Looney, I should say, the main reason he got the H&S is because they do a 4 centimeter extension piece for big hands. The fingers are too short.
Okay.
Don't know.
Wow.
I've never had that problem.
No, that's a new one on me.
That big. I mean, I've got fairly chunky hands, but
yeah, but he's got proper hands, Andy.
He's like the Hulk. Shovels as hands.
I suppose it depends on how you hold it, though, doesn't it? But I can see sort of like if you, I mean, because it does come quite far back. But yeah, I just sort of like cut my hand around more and my finger more.
Or the other way you can do it, and I've seen people do it, they get a piece of hose and just put it over it and then go around.
Well, I tell you what annoys me, and John, was it you, John, who did? No, Nathan's a sod for it. Is spraying without the back.
Oh, without the back on, yeah.
Oh, I don't like that. Proper annoys me.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It shouldn't. It's nothing to do with me. Harry uses airbrush, but honestly, it's
spraying with the back off and mixing in the colour cup.
Oh, yes. Should be banned.
I know. Lifetime. That's why he's not on.
Should be.
He's been
wrong.
Richard in our chat says one man model do a 48th and a 32nd scale Orion. Might be 3D digital only though to print off yourself.
Yeah, there is. I must admit, I have seen that. There is a 3D one, which is with I think it's on Colts 3D as well, where it doesn't look too bad actually. But then you do it any size you like in 3D.
Be a big lump, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Dog's barking.
Husky Tower says, John, I appreciate you've not got sucked in to the Gallieri thing. But I've bought the 0.3 Mobius and it's a cracking little bit of kit. Fair enough. Smelly Fella, this is why we love YouTube, says, bought the Gallieri Swallowtail a few weeks ago. Oh, hold on. Sorry, it's just moved. Sorry, it's moved. And since he's been using it, it's made his H&S a backup. This is it. I think you find what works best for you at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, again, sometimes you get those ones, or you get an airbrush and it just works really, really well. The Fenger just works really well for me, you know, because people often said to me, like, why don't you use the H&S airbrushes anymore? And a lot of it is because the needles and nozzles are wearing out and I need to buy new ones. And by the time I buy a needle and nozzle set, that's near like sort of 40, 50 quid. Well, I could buy 2 Fingers for that and have lots of spares. You know, so it's literally fallen into that sort of trap with it. You get into that thing where it's cheap, you know, so you just, you know, it's good to carry on with it and all the rest of it.
Absolutely.
Airbrushing is very much what you just get on with, isn't it? And every individual's different.
I think the thing is with airbrushing, it is that thing that sometimes I think people forget it's just a tool. You know, people get too carried away with it. I know it's an expensive tool, but it doesn't have to be, because you could have one of them. But I'm just simply saying it's one of those ones where I think, as I say, and I know I often say it, but when I used to do the airbrushing course, I slap it on the table and say this is no different to a paintbrush, because you get people and they are so nervous with an airbrush. You know, they're treating it like, oh God, I don't want to damage it because it's an expensive bit of kit. At the end of the day, it's just a tool. You're using it no different from using an edge scraper or something else like that, you know? So just confidence is the biggest thing with airbrushing.
I think it's the same in everything, though, that you presume that the better your tool is, the better your work is. So, sort of like you tend to buy the best you can afford because you think it's going to be the, you know, do a better job.
But again, don't you think that's because of perhaps how we were brought up as kids, weren't you? You know, like I was a kid of the 70s and it was that thing where you used to you paid for what you got. It was always that thing, wasn't it? And especially in the car industry and that, you could buy a cheap socket set and it just breaks, you know? But you buy a Snap-on one, it comes with a lifetime guarantee, or a Kamasa or whatever it is, and you've got a lifetime guarantee back up with that as well. Buy once, buy right, you know? And that's, I think, how we brought up. But nowadays, that you know, being a bit blurred now, you know, but you'll still get obviously the Mac tool people, the Snap-on people, and stuff like that. But there's some good quality stuff out there. I know I take the piss out of, I've got a friend of mine who's very much into Ryobi, and I take the piss by saying, oh, look, he's got his first drill. You know, my first drill, because it's Ryobi and all the rest of it. And I do like to take the bit because I'm quite a DeWalt fan myself, and I've got a lot of DeWalt tools and stuff like that. But it is that thing about, you know, I have to say, though, when you do it the cost thing, it's pretty good stuff, and I can't really knock it. You just need a bigger battery for it. But, you know.
But I've got both Ryobi and DeWalt, and they both seem to work, do the same job.
As long as they're both fully charged, they work.
Yeah.
You know.
See, I'm a Makita man.
Yeah.
I'm Temu.
Temu. Yeah, that's it.
If I could get cheap off Temu, I'll do me.
Going back to the airbrushes, it's not just the airbrush, is it? It's, do you use acrylic paints? Do you use lacquer paints? There's so many variables.
Yes.
But you just got to stick at it, and all of a sudden you'll get that moment where it clicks, and you find, you know, what suits you.
Yes.
And yeah, it makes such a difference when you reach that point.
Yeah.
Because I started off, I used to spray with acrylics, and I could just never get on with them. And then I switched to lacquers once I got this place, and yeah, it was like night and day.
I think the biggest difference is, and I try and, you know, when I explain to people say about the difference between it, is that lacquers make airbrushing fun because it just works, and you've got a bigger window of thinners and ratios and air pressures, you know, and that's the difference. I think if you can spray lacquers and you don't mind the downside of obviously the smell and the fumes and all things like that go with it, but again, it just, if you imagine like my cutting mat is like, it will never work and it's perfect, you know. With acrylics, you've got a very small area, and the trouble with acrylics as well is that different paint manufacturers, you need it at different ratios, you need some enhancers with some of them and all the rest just to make it work, you know, and you need to get that balance of the right thinness of your paint, the right air pressure, your right distances and things like that, and it's quite narrow. Lacquers are like this. As long as it's roughly thinned and you've got enough air, it'll work, you know, and that I think is the difference to it, you know. But I'm acutely aware a lot of people can't use lacquers, because of the smell. Because they do smell. There's no getting away from it. They stink, you know. Some smell more than others, I will say. Tamiya's own lacquers absolutely stink the worst. They're worse than AK, you know. But again, if you haven't, I'll tell you what I was spraying, I was doing the other day. I was using old school Tamiya paint, which I haven't done for ages, and it was like a nostalgia smell. I was like, forgetting what that smells like, but it still smells.
XF range.
Yeah, the XF range, standard XF range, and it's like, there's a
didn't
smell.
You finally
I
work
smell
mint?
that before.
Hey.
Yeah, they work. Oh, we can't. Well, again, because it's a synthetic, isn't it? It's not a true acrylic. It's an alcohol acrylic, so they work just as well as everything else. But yeah,
I think the only thing people have got to be wary of is that they think, yeah, I'll use acrylic because it's safer. It's not. You're still atomizing paint particles.
You're still breathing in atomized paint. Yeah.
If you get those in your lungs, it doesn't matter whether it's lacquer or acrylic, it's going to do damage. So you still got to take the same safety precautions if you can.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. It's a very, very valid point. Always keep it safe. Anyway, right. Okay. Shall I do a quick little demo?
Yeah, do a quick demo.
Do a quick demo. So my point to it is, a lot of people ask about glues and fillers and all the rest of it. And seeing as we're being a bit old school this morning, talking classics and all the rest of it, I want to talk to you today about Sprue goo, or gloop. It was called in a lot of places and all the rest of it. So I have done a video on how to make it and all the rest of it. So I'm not going to bore you by going through it all again. All right. But if you pop over just to, to find it, go into tutorials on our thing. Right. And I think it's down in, I've got to remember which one it's in now. I've done it in basic modeling. Perhaps it's in basic modeling. If it's not, it'll be in the quick ones. Hold on. Just let this go through. Come on. bite size sprue, go. There we go. So making your own styrene filler. Just pop into the normal one up in here, as we've seen, and then down onto here. There is a standalone video all about it, and it's basically all it is two things. It's Tamiya extra thin, all right, and then it is styrene. So it's just grab some extra thin and sorry, back. Grab yourself neat raw, not using sprue, because that's I think where it goes down. Just use a little offcuts in your bits and pieces, chop them up little bits, bung them into an old glue pot, all right, and that's all this is, and add a bit of thinners into a bit of the actual Tamiya extra thin into it. Don't use the speedy stuff, just use the normal extra thin, all right, and just pop it in, leave it overnight, and then what you'll be left with is something like this. Yeah. Now the great thing about this is you can make this as thin or as thick. Sorry, you're over here now. As thick as you like. I always have it quite thick because I want it just to go somewhere and not flow off. You know, you can make it thinner. You can make it even thicker. And I've got another one over here. This is the really thick stuff. So this stuff is like proper thick. You can probably see it webs. It's that much. All right. So again, it goes, it sticks wherever you put it, and that is it. So that's the two flavors I have. If you want to make it a bit thinner, obviously you can pop a little bit in a bottle cap or something and add a little bit more extra thin to it, and you can thin it down. So the great thing about it is, all right, so I'm just going to demo on this guy. Over here, we've got a little bit of a wing join going down in here. All right. So if you grab some of this one, a bit too much there. All right. You can... And he says, and I can't find my other glasses. What have I done with my other glasses? We had them literally here a second ago. No, we're going to have to go blind and try and do it manually. All right. So again, the great thing is you can just come along and you just tap it. And you can keep it very, very local. I'm not on about brushing it. I tend to do the tap way. I just find this a little bit better. And you tap and you just go along. We'll just do the wingy bit. All right. And you can just put it in there like that. The great thing with this stuff is as well, it will self-level. All right. So again, I know there's other fillers out there. You could come in if you wanted to, something like a thick surface primer, a bit of 500. You've got putties and all the rest of it, but it's actually quite a neat and accurate way of putting it down. All right. And that will sit on there. Now, drying time for that, probably this afternoon, you'd be able to sand that, no problem at all. But I would advise leaving it as long as you can. Blue Peter style, I've already done some over here. So you could, if you wanted to, put a couple of bits of tape down like we've done here, and then you can take them off afterwards. And this one is one that I did around about 6 o'clock this morning. All right, and these are dry. All right, so again, it's a filler. You're going to get shrinkage and all the rest of it, but it does fill quite well down in here. All right, and they just go down, and I've done these over here as well, just to take care of those lines, and that is it. Then you can just come along with your sander. All right, that's a nice new one-ish. I'll just move those, and you can sand it. Now, when you're sanding as well, don't go with it, go 45 degrees across it. That way, if you're coming in here, what you can end up doing is going down into the trench that's under here. We want to go across. You can go, if you wanted, 90 degrees over it. All right, but again, it just, I think 45 degrees is sort of the sweet spot. So you just lay your sander on there and just lightly rub across. And we'll just come over here. All right, and we're just going to lightly sand all the way through, and then you have a feel, and you're going, yep. It's all right, and we're just going to come this side now. And we'll sand. And to be honest, these ones here, if you ever know this kit, this is the old Matchbox kit that we were doing for the turkey shoot last year that I never finished. But it's a really, really deep one down in this. So we can just go across. Pretty good, looking, feeling good. All right, with the sander. And this is just, as I say, it's a fine sander on here. And we just go right over, and that is now nice and smooth. So we just come along with a sponge. and it's done. All right. Now, why would you use Sprue Goo and all the rest of it? All right. I'll tell you why. If you needed to rescribe or actually re-rivet over this stuff, it will act exactly the same as the plastic. So by that I mean is that when you drag a rescribing along here, it will feel like it's plastic. You'll have no resistance. It will feel the same resistance as the plastic around it. Unlike if you were using something like a CA glue, which is another good way of doing this because it's quick, simple, and you know it works. Trouble is though, when you come along, you try and drag through a CA glue and things like that, it can actually get stopped dead because it's a lot harder material to go through, especially with riveting. So if you're putting a riveting wheel across this, obviously you'll get nice rivets, you'll get to the hard bit and they're like pinpricks, and then you go back into it again. So you have to manually put them in. With this, you have no problem with it at all. It goes right over the top with no problems. All right. So why wouldn't you use a putty? All right, putties work absolutely great, no problem at all. Trouble with putties, you tend to get a little bit more shrinkage with it, and you're gonna have to come back, maybe do a couple of coats with it. The other thing with putty, from a rescribing and a re-riveting point of view, is that obviously it's a lot softer than the plastic. So if I was having to rescribe across this, what will happen is you'll come along, you'll get to where the putty is, and it will then just drop into it almost. You make a bigger, you know, trench, whatever it is, it might literally just drop that far into it that it pulls it all out and all the rest of it instead of just gliding along the surface. Same goes with riveting. If you were coming along with riveting and you were on a line and you needed to put it like over it or something into it as well, because it's really soft, your riveting will be a lot deeper than it will be because of obviously the plastic is being a lot tougher. So by using styrene as a filler just works very, very well for general type stuff. The other great thing about it as well, if you've got big wing root gaps, huge big things that you need to deal with, all right, and that they're a real problem. If you was to go with filler, you're going to be putting a lot of filler in there. I would recommend obviously plastic shimming it first, you know, but if that isn't an option, or if it's a tricky area and something you want to self-level as well and sort itself out, it's got great gap capability. This stuff, especially if you're using a thicker version, will do massive holes. But again, you're going to need to build it up over a few coats, but it eats into itself, it's in there. The other great thing about using this as well, it's structural. So by structural, what I actually mean is if you were using it over, you know, for instance, say we was to do the wing root, and this was a big 32nd scale model, it will then weld both sides together. Not only is it filling it, it's welding itself to the plastic because it's got obviously the extra thin in there, which is the glue, which is melting. So it will physically melt to both halves as it goes right the way across. So it's a good way of taking care of everything in one. You can rivet over it, you can obviously rescribe through it, no problem at all, but also it'll be a fully structural join on here as well. Especially if you rough up the surfaces before, it will then get a really nice bite into there and sort it out. And that's why I like going a little bit old school sometimes and using Sprue Goo. Another classic down on here, this little guy I've been making at the moment, this has got a little bit of thin Sprue Goo just over the top here. The reason for it is I used a Tamiya Extra Thin. Normally, when I sanded the seam, I ended up with white slots, little marks. What that is, there's no glue. The glue hasn't penetrated deep enough to take care of it. So again, by putting a little bit of thinned Sprue Goo right over it, it flows down into that joint, it welds it up, make sure it's all good. So when I come back and we start sanding this again, so again, we pop down in here, we'll end up with a binded or a joined surface as well as obviously filled all the holes all in one. So again, very, very handy for doing that. And again, because it sort of self-levels and all the things with it as well, you'll have no problems with it going too far. As I said before, secret to this stuff, make it quite thick. And then that way, it doesn't flow off anywhere. You can actually make raised rivets if you want with it as well. Just go along with a pin and take care of it. But there we go. That's our surface done there. Where's my polisher? I had a polisher here earlier. Here's the polisher. So just go across here. And all down this spine, I had white marks all the way down the spine. Now we don't have anything at all. Just needs a little bit more sanding and taking cut. And there we go, all the way through. And that's why we like going old school with something like that. And again, this will dry down in here because it's just a small little mark like this. This will dry. I don't know if it is now. There we go. That's drying already. It's surface dry already. Again, it's not going to be dry enough. You put a nail in there, you're going to get a soft mark like you would with a filler, but it doesn't take as long to dry as I think a lot of people will tell you it will. But they are great for doing this type of job. As I say, fills, does everything all in one, and it's good for back working with it as well for anything else you might need to do. And that's why I love styrene filler. Old school, cheap, and normally you've got it all with you as well. You've got enough to make it. Even if you just make it in a bottle cap, just a small amount, just put some down in there, mix it together, you can make up a bit. The great thing about this is as well, I'll show you, you can take a little bit of your thick stuff, just pop a little bit down in there. Then you take a little bit of your glue, pop it next to it. You can rehydrate this and make it into more of a liquid. So if you wanted to do some sort of capillary action with it as well, you can make it a lot thinner. Also, if you find this goes too thick in the bottle, like to be honest, I've had these years, I just keep topping it up. Just add a little bit more of the actual extra thin into there, leave it overnight, give it a shake and a stir, and you've got a thin version and you're good to go with it as well. So all I tend to do literally is that when it gets too low for the brush to get to the bottom, chop up some styrene, chuck it in there, add a couple of mil, leave it in there overnight, give it a stir the next day. It's going to take a couple of days to work and you'll be good to go. But as you say, I always have two on the go. The great thing is because it's thick, it doesn't come out. So you're okay with it.
Good job.
Unlike extra thin, which then goes everywhere. Which, don't forget, if you do spill it, you can buy your glue holders available, just £4 in the store. So if you want to get one of those in the store, shameless plug, I know. But yeah, that's why I like old school stuff as well. You got all this brand new stuff and thousands of pounds worth of gear that we've got these days. But sometimes the old ways are still the best. So yes. Cool. Yeah. Comments.
Do you know, I haven't used Sprue glue in ages because I've been using black super glue for filling.
Yes.
Just, it's one of them that sands easy and it you can see it, to be honest, as well. But yeah, Sprue glue is. I've just acquired a kit that's going to need quite a bit of that. To be honest, because it's awful. The riveting on it is awful for the scale.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's going to need refilling, sanding, and redoing if you wanted to rivet it. So,
yes.
Do you want me to show you what it is?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Just a quick tip as well. If you're rescribing and you make a mistake, Sprue glue is brilliant because you put it in your little line of your mistake, give it an hour, you can sand it and go again, and it's like you've never made a mistake. Perfect. Sterling stuff, Mostyn.
It's that one, not the other one. This is the
Mark
first
1.
one, the Mark 1. But honestly,
right.
Have you ever reviewed this kit?
No.
You haven't, have you?
No.
Because you can't get this one. You can get. I think you could get the last one they did, because they did the glider tug one, which never sold, and then now that's just gone silly, second-hand prices. But the Mark 1 sterling is. It's not a bad kit. I won't say it's brilliant for say our newer tool it is, but you have. I'm sure the trumpeter rivet man did it.
Yes.
It's honest to God, it is so out of scale for 72nd. The rivets on it, it's awful. I mean, the panel line is not brilliant, but I think you'll get away with that. But the actual rivets on it are just shocking, to be honest. It's a shame it's all still bagged up. So, I mean, anybody even in chat, you'll know what it is if you look at reviews. But yeah, I mean, it's not. It's a big old beast, look. It's a long thing.
It's a lump. The sterling's huge.
But yeah, I might put the camera on this afternoon and say, but yeah, the rivets have got to go on it because they are just. Yeah, don't know what they were thinking. They might as well not have bothered and just put the panel lines in, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know. Bizarre.
Just to answer question, are you adding Sprue or evergreen to make your Sprue glue? I always use like evergreen or any proper styrene sheet. I don't use Sprue because I find that Sprue by its nature just shrinks more. If you put like evergreen like virgin plastic into it works so much better than using Sprue goo. I know we call it Sprue goo because in the old days it was called Sprue goo or gloop. So yeah, definitely. I think it's one of those ones where if you put styrene into it, if all the imperfections that's in styrene just come out with whatever you use it with. I just never got it to work as styrene because I used to use it years ago as styrene. But I think if you use it literally as a, virgin plastic, evergreen or somebody else's like it, then you have no problem with it at all.
Question from David: how would you feel the gap between the fuselage half where the tail wheel is on feels demo plane?
The what bit? Oh, the gap between. Again,
Yeah,
I tell you what.
Put your overhead on.
This bit in here. Hold on. There we go. You mean this gap down in here?
Yes.
Sprue goo, because you don't have to touch it. So I will do it, and we can have a look at this afternoon because it will self-level. Yeah. So
whose kit's that, by the way? Is that an Airfix one?
No, this is the old Matchbox kit.
Is it?
Yeah. So if you go everywhere with this, what we'll do is we'll give it a coat of primer this afternoon and you can see it. So do you know what? I don't know where my magnifier's on. I can't see anything through these glasses. I'm literally blind as a bat. So I'm doing this somewhat. I'm using the monitor as my eyes. So yeah, if you come in and you just put a bit of this in here, quite a bit, so it's got enough to self-level and sort itself out. And then what you can do is, once you've got a lump in here like this, you know what, I actually need to pull my nozzle down a bit to get a bit more on. Need to make some more, should have made more, but actually it's doing it already. But you might notice already it's starting to self-level down in there. And then once you've got a bit on, if you get a next coat but make some thinner stuff and put that on, that will then just go into any recess that's after it. It will eat into itself and that's it. But that's how I take care of them when they're in here. Because it's thick, it won't go through. It'll just stay on the surface and it'll go hard. But I'll leave it like that. And then this afternoon we can have a look-see and I'll give it a coat of primer over it. But you can probably see it. I'm trying to catch it in the light here. It's starting to do it already. It will sink a bit. This isn't some magic, bullet here for it, but it won't be anything that much. And then say, if you put the next one onto it right over the top, it will self-level, it will take care of it. But that's how I would take care of that little slot. And say, it's great.
I was about to say, it's better off, but you're better off putting it on thin coats and letting it dry and building it up on it than putting a massive thick coat on, because obviously it's got extra thin in it that's hot and just eats everything. Yeah. So
alternatively, what I do, if you've got really thin plastic card, I just cut a bit of plastic card to shape and then just glue that in.
Yeah, all works.
Just in chat, Simon says, will the finger quick release valve male go into a H&S quick release female? Yes, but sometimes you might find that different manufacturers, they leak.
Yes,
slightly.
Yeah.
H&S do very cheaply this.
You might not notice it leaking, but if you left your compressor on, you'll notice that your compressor might kick in sometimes because it's
So leaking. Mine used to leak, and this is now the Fenger one on here. I put the Fenger one onto it. You can see the difference in the colours, but I haven't used their ones, but this is on here. This is a H&S quick disconnect, but this bit in the middle is a Fenger one because I was finding I was getting little bits of air leak with it. The Fenger one, weirdly, I don't get any problems with. But I say you can see it here because the Fenger ones are still in. I haven't used the Fenger one, but this Fenger one, you don't get any leaks at all onto here. No matter how you twiddle it or pull it, it's silent. It's fine. But yeah. That's highly recommended. And these are dirt cheap, the airbrush disconnector sets. But these here are the standard ones. Obviously, they're the Fenger ones. You can see in there, they've got the one on here. But this is an H&S quick disconnect. Nothing at all with it. So
yeah, I think I've got the Fenger quick release and the bottom valve bit. Both Fenger. And this has still got air in.
Yeah.
This was from using it yesterday afternoon.
Yeah.
My compressor. So
mine leaks. Mine always kicks in. I've got leak somewhere, because I tell you what, I had a blown hose. I didn't realise. So I've changed the hose, but I think it still kicks in a bit when it's not. I have got a leak, so it's probably like you say, the quick release isn't mating up properly with this
it
bit.
Depends on
with
whether it bothers you that the.
I just turn it off. I just flick it.
Yeah,
now,
well, it depends. Yeah, if you compressor might kick in once every hour or so, and it bothers you or not.
To be fair, it was kicking in quite a bit. It weren't like every hour. It was getting worse and worse. So I just switch it off now. It's not a problem. Do you know what I mean? So to be fair,
but honestly, I'm just going to say that
draining.
Yeah, that's it. I think mine needs a drain. Actually, I haven't done mine for a while. But I have to say, the Fenger Airbrush Disconnect set is a really, really good set. I've had other quick disconnect ones, and you say you do that thing, you move it, and it's like as it moves. But the Fenger one, nothing at all. And I've got lots of them. I've got everybody's. It would seem over the years I've managed to accumulate. But I have to say that the Fenger one though is really, really good.
I think if you can, sort of like try and change them all to the same manufacturer.
Brand that you use.
It's not critical of the work.
Right, I've got a couple of questions here. Jim's just saying he uses the VMS Black Flexi CA glue as a filler. Works great. He doesn't mix it with talcum powder. Yeah.
That's what I use, because I got a stuck needle, like a lube in that. I do that over lunch. Yeah, that black super glue's got like a bit of a rubber compound in it, which makes it a bit more easier to sand and stuff rather than just normal super glue. So, and it don't sink. I used it. You really can't see it, but I did use it on the seams of the. Well, you can underneath a little bit. There you go. Look, all the black stuff is just black super glue that I use for the seams on this. So good stuff. Nice. Good stuff. And we sell it in the shop.
I must admit, with the Sprue glue, what I tend to use it for most is with things like drop tanks and stuff. I actually use the Sprue glue as a glue.
Yeah.
So I spread it on one half of it and then glue it together, and then you basically glued and filled all the annoying little gaps you can get on drop tanks in one go.
What about texturing them? What about texturing bombs and
texturing bombs? That's another good use for it.
Yeah, if you brush it on, I'll tell you, there's a trick to that. I'll tell you what, for texturing bombs, it's really small to show on camera, but I'll tell you a little trick I do. If you get Sprue glue, right, brush it over your bomb casing, so, all onto it, and then get a coarse sanding stick, right, and then roll it across it, and then you'll get the texture imprinted onto it. You can thank me for that one later. You can have that one for free.
Well, thanks.
So let it slightly go off, so it's like tacky. But we were saying about like with that one there, like now it's dry to touch. Have it like that. You want to catch it just before that if you do, and then all you do is just roll it across. I used to do it on 30-second scale bombs because it's a bit easier. But that way the texture gets imprinted onto it, and it's a really nice texture. Or the other way I used to do it is that have thick old paint, and then no thinners, high air pressure, and just build it up. So you cause texture. To be honest,
these little ones for the Helldiver, I'm actually just going to texture with Tamir Extra Thin.
I wouldn't bother because they didn't have texture in them days.
Yeah, everything had texture.
I don't think they did in World War II. Did they have a cook-off coating?
No, they were cast, weren't they? They were cast thingy, so they had a little bit. I'm not saying it's like massive amount of texture, but they have a little bit.
These days, they've got that special coating that stops them cooking off, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, not like you're going to see a lot of them when they're strapped underneath and stuff. But yeah, I think they had a little bit of texture. But again, I'll just use a bit of Tamir Extra Thin and just melt it and keep it quite in scale, I think, for what it is. But if you're going bigger and stuff.
Yes. Question: when you're adding, I think we did that one. Question: Phil, are you building the Kitty? Sorry, I know you're building the Kitty Hawk Bronco, which has issues. Do you know if the Kitty Hawk JS Gripen is better or has issues as well? It's got issues. Yeah, it's not unbuildable though. Nothing fits. I know all right, generalizing there, but nothing fits. So if you want to do it gear up and things like that, nothing will fit. it's the same as with this one down in here. It won't fit. It'll be a real problem. But again, it's nothing that cannot be fixed. You know, we often say about these things, you're a modeler at the end of the day. It's not Lego. You're supposed to fix it. So you might have to get out. But to be honest with you, all the fit issues I've had with this have just been quite minor ones that have been easily to get past. It's just really annoying little things that it shouldn't have as a kit. But yeah, it's got it and everything else. The trouble with the Griffin is very much like the F-35. They came out at the same time. It's a bit like the F-35. Yeah, doors and things don't fit on that either. But if you're doing it gear down or anything open, you'll be absolutely fine with it. So, yeah. Not a problem. You'll be fine, Alistair. Give it a whirl. It'll be all right.
There you go.
If anyone is looking to do a Mustang, I built the Bronco models, 48 scale P51K Mustang a couple of months ago. Couldn't fault it. Exceptionally detailed. I'd recommend the kit. Thank you, Peter. I don't know that kit. Anyone done a Bronco?
Yeah, no, it's been out a few years. I think Bronco models are more known for armour and stuff, aren't they? So their aircraft kit gets a bit overlooked, to be fair. So because they do the Horser, don't they, in 35th? And
yes, yeah.
And another glider, the German, one of the German things to do, stuff like that. So yeah, because it's an early P40, it's like a P40B, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think. So
Steve just got out the Mark III Sterling to build. Nice.
There you go. Get rid of them rivets.
Yes.
I have got something to show you this afternoon, actually. Evolution of a kit.
Nice.
Evolutions of kits, you'll see. I'll show you this afternoon, but we're quite interesting from a 70s to a now, basically, or last year thing of two different manufacturers, but same plane, shall we say?
Yes. So very
similar.
nice.
That'd be
good.
Cool. Something to talk about, innit?
Yes, definitely. Right. Okay. So just before we go, let's have a quick look at while we're all here to take your money. Free to watch this, so you have to buy something. Okay. So don't forget, over on the store, we've got 20% off all the stuff. So I'll show you the jigs this afternoon, the flight stands. But we've got the mystery boxes. We've still got some mystery boxes available down in there. So if you want to get your mystery box, which is going to have a lot more than 30 quid's worth of stuff in, all brand new, none of it secondhand, all the rest of it, you will be impressed, I promise. We've got our anniversary collector set for this weekend only. So if you want to get one of those, you can do as well. The wash set does come with a free bottle of dust on top of the deal that you see here as well. I think it comes on the paperwork. I don't think it actually says it on here, but it does because it's all in the system. So buy the actual wash set and you get a free bottle of dust with the normal wash, the original wash. All the washes on there as well. So again, they're all 20% off if you want to get any of those. Got the thick wash as well, 20% off all of those and all the merch and other bits and pieces. We've got the glue holder because you need a glue holder. And obviously we've got a micro set and sole holder down in there as well. Got the tin trays on their own. So if you want to get any of those, we've got those. Then we've got 10% off all DSP stuff as well. So if you want to get any of these ones down in here, you can do as well. So we've got lots of stuff, plastic cards, stuff like that. Dead handy, the plastic card because it's got grids on it and measurements. Very handy. And all the rest of it. Plus the fact you've got all your sanders is down in there as well. Got your cutting mats and guides as well. So we've got those as well. So if you want any of those there, 10% off all the DSP and then all the Flory model stuff is 20%. Also on the PM store this weekend. Matthew, do you want to talk us through it?
Yeah, well, like I say, we've got the kits. The kits have been selling because my phone keeps lighting up, so people are buying stuff. But also, I did forgot to mention, can you go down to Mr. Colour Metallics, please?
Mr. Colour Metallics. This one?
Yeah. They've extended the Super Metallics range, so now we go up to 10, 11 and 12. And then there's the Ultra Metallics, which they've started doing, which is the silver, which is the first one there.
Yes.
Okay, so that's a new one that we're stocking. I don't know if they're going to extend that range or not, but yeah, ultra metallic. So
what's the difference?
I've got no clue, mate. So just come in, but it's ultra instead of super.
Ultra.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then, like I say, they've got some new colours, which is 10, 11 and 12 there. So they've got the matte aluminium and the red gold and the whatever whatever
pink
it is.
Gold.
Pink gold. So we've got your golds covered. And just also, while they're in, we ain't got many left, but it's now discontinued, is the Mr. Colour MC range. Basically, what's left is it's discontinued as a range, basically. So
right, okay.
I think the super metallics and ultra metallics, I don't think you're going to get them nice brushable like the dark iron and stuff, which I don't know why they've discontinued it. There's obviously a reason, which is a shame, because I think they were brilliant for what, you know, for what they were. But yeah, so we've extended that. And also we've got in stock as well is Tamiya now have got some new sanding. I suppose they're like sanding sponges, sanding sheets with a backing on. And we're doing them. They're just 600. They're in the tool bit. If you go into just the general tool bit, I want to separate this up to Tamiya bits and whatever at some point, but we need little logos doing. But it's in the tools bit. So they're just 600 to 3,000. I'll show you this after. I'll grab a few and I'll show you on camera. It'll be easier.
Yeah.
I think they're right down the bottom, mate, to be honest. I don't think I even moved them. There, look, them. Them coloured sheets.
Yes.
So they're the new Tamiya ones, as well as the sanding sponges, which I think are brilliant, to be honest. The sanding sponges that we sell, the Tamiya ones, I love them. I think they're really good. Oh, and cap openers are back as well. Went to them for a while. So ever so handy if you've got Mr. Colour on Tamiya colour paints to get your tops off when they've welded themselves on. I think we'll all vouch for that, won't we?
Oh, don't forget 100%. Mr. Colour spouts.
Mr. Colour spouts.
The sprouts have changed this year.
Sprouts.
No, the spouts.
The spouts, we've still got about 8 million of them. So, yes. Oh, look, and a Tamiya anti-vibration mat. Okay.
Hey, for your compressor, work.
They sold quite well, didn't they, when you first got them?
Yeah, they do. People buy them, they do work. It's Tamiya, does what it says on the tin, doesn't it?
Yeah. That's it, absolutely. The Ron seal of the modelling world. So, and all your other tools and bits and pieces as well. Don't forget as well, over on the store, High Altitude Hobbies doing 10% off of everything as well. So if you want to get anything from them as well, you can do. Very, very nice. Cool. That's about it for part one. All ready for part two this afternoon? We ready, Amber? Yeah. We're good, aren't we? Yeah. We're all set. Good, because I need a wee. So yes, anyway, lots more to come this afternoon. We've got some demos. Obviously we'll be chatting and talking and all the rest of it. Don't forget, if you can't join us tonight as well, we're going to be live 7:30. We've got the quiz and the relaxing show, so grab some snacks and a drink and all the rest of it, and as I say, we'll be back with you all day tomorrow. It's available as a catch up as well, so if at any point you can't see us, you can catch up with us in the week and all the rest of it. All right, cool beans. Nice. There we go. Thank you very much for joining us this morning, people. We will see you all again this afternoon at 2 o'clock, i.e. 2 hours time. We will be back here again, and obviously all the links will go up shortly. So until later, everybody, say goodbye, gentlemen. We're out of here. Bye.
See you soon.